Namaste, my name is Ibakordor Nongkynrih and I am from Dispur Hospital School of Nursing. So my topic today will be on metals and nonmetals. Metals and nonmetals are two broad categories of elements in the periodic table, each with its distinct physical and chemical properties. So under metals and nonmetals, we have the classification of matter. Classification of matter, which it is divided into parts, that is pure substance, and mixtures. So under pure substance we have elements and compounds. And under mixtures we have homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. So what is matter? Anything that occupies space, and has mass is known as matter. So now we'll discuss on pure substance. What is pure substance? Pure substance, it is made up of only one particle. Okay, so it is made up of only one particle. Then under pure substance, we have elements and compounds. Now coming to elements, what are elements? Elements are the simplest form which cannot be further divided or simplified. For example, I can give you gold. Why gold? Because gold, you cannot make something new out of gold. Okay. Next, we have compounds. So what are compounds? They are the pure substance made up of only one type of particle. For example, I can give you H2O, and H2O stands for water. Next, we have the classifications, that is metals, in between we have metalloids, and nonmetals. Okay. Metalloids and nonmetals. So what is metal? What is metal? It is an element whose atoms readily lose electrons to form positive ions. This means that these metals, they lose their electrons to form positive ions known as cations. Okay. Then metals are electropositive elements as they form positive ions by losing electrons. They are known as what? As electropositive elements as they form positive ions by losing electrons. Now I am going to give examples of metals. Examples of metals like potassium, magnesium, aluminum, copper. These are the examples of metals. Next we have metalloids. So what are metalloids? It is the element which has both properties of metals and non-metals. For example, I can give you silicon. Now coming to nonmetals, the examples of nonmetals are oxygen, bromine, chlorine, nitrogen, etc. So now we'll discuss on the properties of metals. What are the properties of metals? Okay. So number one, we have metals are generally hard. 2, metals are malleable, which means it can be beaten into sheets. Okay, like aluminum foil, we can beat up the aluminum foil and make it into one sheet. Next, metals are ductile. By ductile, we mean we can make the metal into a long wire. Okay, we can stretch it into a long wire. That is known as ductile. Next, we have metals are sonorous. So what do you mean by sonorous? Sonorous means when metals are beaten, it makes a sound. Okay, that is how bells are made. Now we have thermal conductivity. It is the transfer of heat from one end to another. It's known as thermal conductivity, except for mercury. Mercury doesn't happen, okay, with mercury. Next, we have electrical conductivity. What is electrical conductivity? Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Next, we have metals are rigid. What do you mean by rigid? Rigidity means like even if you give an applied force, a force is applied to the metal, it doesn't change its shape or form. That is why it is known as rigid. Okay, metals are rigid. And next, metals have a high boiling point. So let us discuss on how the metals and non-metals work. Okay, so we have valid electrons. Metals are known for having valid electrons of 1, 2, and 3. And then what happens is they lose electrons. Okay, they lose electrons, which further turns them into cations. That is, what do you understand by cations? It is positively charged. Positively charged. Positively charged, which later turns into an electropositive element. Okay, that is for metals. Next, we have non-metals. So non-metals, the valid electrons are 5, 6, and 7, and so on. All right. Then what do these non-metals do? They gain electrons. Okay, they gain. They do not lose like the metals. Okay, so they gain electrons, which turns them into a negatively charged ion. Okay, a negatively charged ion known as an ion. So which leads to what? Electropositive, electronegative element. Again, we'll come to non-metals. What are non-metals? Okay, non-metals are those which lack all the properties of metals. Understand? So next we have the properties of non-metals. What are the properties of non-metals? As we have discussed earlier, the properties of metals. Now we'll discuss the properties of non-metals. Okay. So number one, we have it is a poor conductor. By poor conductor means there will be no transfer of heat. Transfer of heat are not easy, okay, with the non-metals. Then brittle solids. What do you understand by brittle solids? Brittle solids means it breaks easily. Okay, it breaks easily. Then it has a very low melting and boiling point. Melting and boiling point. Unlike metals, they have high melting and boiling point. Then it also lacks metallic luster. This means that it is not shiny. Okay. Then we have next point, we have gases, liquids, and solids. We have gases. In gases, we can give example like oxygen, and then liquids example we can give bromine, and for solids we can give sulfur. Okay. So this is it for today. Thank you very much, everyone. And if you have any problem or any query, you can contact me in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.